So we have quite an interesting game here. It's a good game, and the way I know it's a good game is because I keep just getting distracted while trying to record it by playing it. So yeah, I have a lot of high hopes that this is a game that's going to be fun to play. Um, this is the page that you are confronted with when you start. It is quite a simplistic menu and I think a bit unfinished. So note that this game is only been released 9 hours ago as I'm recording this. So I imagine a fair bit of work is still going to be done to it. Um, you can see it's got a weird kind of wood grain background and not much information. This is like the credits. Uh, this is supposed to help you, and I can see how the developer has tried to make this helpful in that it doesn't have words in it, so it doesn't need to be translated. It can be understood in any language, but I didn't find this particularly useful because it didn't have the context to make sense. I understand it now what it's talking about. It's saying that if you have five balls of the same color together, or five balls, one of each color, the balls pop and it progresses the star bar. And the point of the game is to make stars. And then it's also talking about the power balls. This one's camouflages in, so it gets popped with the others. Another set that pops. This one's like a magnet. It pulls other balls towards it. This one reduces the number of balls to pop by one, so a sparkly ball with three other balls of a particular color will pop rather than requiring five. This ball just explodes when it pops. It just shuffles the other balls around. It doesn't actually destroy them. And this is a bouncy ball, so it just bounces fiercely, or if another ball drops onto it, they bounce. The game is like Suika Games, so you're dropping balls into a chamber, trying to make the combinations to destroy them, and then as you destroy them, there's a second chamber that gets filled up with stars. And my understanding is that the goal is to max out the stars. And let's play a bit, so you'll see what I mean. So this is our play space. We can turn the music over here off if we want to, so it's nice to have the sound controls. This is the stars chamber, so as we progress this will start filling up with stars, and I think the goal is to try and get it maxed out. This is our actual play space. These are the balls that are going to drop in order, and yeah, you just, like Suika Game, you just line it up and you drop a ball in, and they move as the balls do, with rather nice physics, really nice physics. That is one of the power balls, the sparkly one, so if I get one more yellow ball in there, it'll pop. But we don't have another one in the line at the moment, so drop the standard blues in. We have red and a sparkly red, that'll pop. So now the yellows will pop if we just drop this in. We have another yellow to pop, we have some pinky purples coming in. Let's get these reds. Oh, that didn't bounce very well. Another pink, another yellow, another red. Another pink, another red, another yellow. I don't think the patterns on the balls make a difference, whether it's a square or a star or a plus. I think that's just variation in the designs. Get some pinks put inside there. Start stacking up some more yellows over here. Pinks, I'll just need one more pink on that set. Oh, that must have been a set of all of the colours. That was a nice surprise. So yeah, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. I'm already getting distracted by this as I'm trying to record it and messing up the progression there. Here's another bouncy one. Put some yellows in here. There's a blue over there. Can we waggle one in there? Now, those bouncy balls are a right pain. There's a green one. Guess that's where the greens are going. Put some reds in here. going to be difficult because it's a stupid bouncy one. Oh, we might have done it. Nice. Another red over here. Some more yellows over here. Oh, didn't notice that was a bouncy one. Wasn't watching properly. Get rid of these reds. So there's a magnet one. Let's see how this works. You can see it pulls the other ones in there, but I think the magnet actually pulls balls of all colors, so it's not just yellows. It'd be nice if it was just yellows. And yeah, so that's the game. We try and fill up the yellow stars by dropping the color balls and combining them in rows, well, in groups. So a few critiques. Firstly, as you can see, the UI seems rather unfinished. There's no trim here. I don't know why the background is this wood grain. It's quite pleasing, but it doesn't really contextually fit in with anything else. There's no sort of borders or barriers. I really need to trim these in more and add some theming in the background. The balls look very nice. In terms of artwork, the stars less nice. They need to fancy those up a little bit. And I have to say, I don't quite understand why there is a stars chamber rather than just making the play space chamber the central point and putting like a progression bar or something in the sides, and maybe unlocking different kinds of balls or something like that. Something to give the game a little bit more progression and to flesh out the theming some more. Not that that's necessary, but I think it would be nicer that way. The help page at the beginning wasn't particularly good, and the sort of the front page. But again, those are not necessary items. They're just things that I think improving on would take the game to the next level. The sound is great. The pops are very nice. The sound of the balls bouncing are very nice. The explosions could be a little more bassier. The music is great, but it's the one song that rotates, so some more songs in the mix would be quite nice. The artwork, like I said, the things could be a little fancier. I don't quite understand why this is a moving multicolored column that leads in here. I think the trimming could be done a bit more. The balls themselves are very nice, very satisfying. In terms of feeling, the movements are great. The game is understandable and intuitive to play. I like the way the magnets work. I like the way they bounce. I like the way they move around. The game is responsive and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, so the feeling of the game is fantastic. And then we come to the most complex question, which is the immersion elements. Now, obviously, a puzzle game like this doesn't need fiction or a storyline or something like that. In fact, I think trying to cram that in would make the game worse rather than better, which is kind of the opposite of what I normally recommend. I do like a story in the games. I do like something to pull the character or the player in, to give them some kind of motivation to play the game. But obviously, for a game like Tetris or Suika game or this game, that doesn't really work, and you don't want that to distract it. But the looks of the game then had to do the heavy lifting for the immersion element, and this game just looks unfinished. So obviously that would be, if I were the developer, the biggest focus here is to try and get the game UI and the play space and things like that more consistent, more coherent, more engaging, and I don't want to say vibrant, because people mistake that for just adding brighter colors and things like that. It doesn't need to have brighter colors, but it just needs to have continuity across it and depth. But yeah, these are nitpicks to take the game to the next level. The game, as it is at the moment, is fun enough to be heavily distracting, and I enjoy it greatly, and I massively, heartily recommend it. Why did you bounce that way, green? So yeah, there will be a link in the description. Come and play it. If you like the video, like the video. If you want to see more Itchio Games, gameplay demonstrated and critiqued and sort of be shown something that you might like, seriously come in and subscribe and ring that bell, because the bell is silly. And as I've mentioned many times before, comment in the comment section. The engagement with the video helps me, but it also helps you, because it trains YouTube as to the videos that you're interested in commenting. And forget subscriptions, forget ringing the subscription bell. Engaging with the video by commenting and things like that is how you really get your feeds sort of prioritizing those videos. It's both clever and silly on YouTube's side, but it's the way it works, and that's the cards we are dealt. Yeah, so that's it. Come and play. Link in the description. Give the devs some love, and keep an eye on this one. I think it's going to be popular, like Suika Game. Thanks for playing, and I'll see you in the next video.